See, sometimes they'll ask you why tungsten, tungsten. Tungsten is used almost exclusively for filament of electric lamp. See, the tungsten is a high resistance. High resistance. And it is high melting point. High melting point. Resistance is high and high melting point. And it retains, see, it gets very, very hot. Suppose in the bulb, the tungsten filament. This is a tungsten filament. And the resistance is very high and high melting point. And retain heat. It retain heat properly, right? And also it emits, because it's such a high heat, right? It emits light because of heat. Therefore, tungsten has a high temperature, high melting point and high resistance, and it retains heat, and it gets very hot and emits radiation. That is why tungsten is used. Most of the entrance exam they ask for 1 mark or multiple choice questions they ask in any competitive exams. That is one thing in electricity. Usual question throughout the world they ask the same question everywhere. Therefore, just know that. Another common question will be what is that come across is why conductor of electric heating devices like iron box you take it, okay, or heater, all this heater you have come across, no? Why are the conductors of electric heating devices such as bread toaster? You have seen the bread toaster also, bread toaster, and electric iron. They're used, they don't use pure metal, because you take any metal, say whatever iron, if you heat it to very high temperature, at the high temperature combine with oxygen form iron oxide, or any metal combine with oxygen form metal oxide at very, very high temperature. Therefore, if you have an alloy withstand high temperature, certain alloys, not all alloys, certain alloys withstand high temperature, and it does not oxidize. That is the reason. Therefore, we call the oxidation is also called burning. They call burn. Therefore, this metal, these alloys has a high resistance. See, high resistance, and also do not oxidize readily at high temperature. Therefore, any metal oxidize readily with high temperature, but alloy, you know what is alloy? A pure metal in which certain other elements are added with a proper proportion. Proper proportion is called an alloy. Its character itself will change, right? Therefore, alloy they will be using for this electrical appliances, right? Another question they normally ask is why in the household domestic circuits we use series of parallel connections. Say parallel connection, see series connection. Suppose I have a bulb here, a fan, and a fridge, everything connected in series. Okay. Now, if you have one switch, this is a switch. If I close, that means if I make a circuit, bulb will burn, fan will start rotating, fridge start working, and all that. If I switch off, if I break the circuit, or if I close the circuit, everything will not work, because series current flows in a parallel. What is that? Series. Therefore, series mode is not good. Therefore, if you connect it in series, same current will flow. Actually, different appliance. For bulb, you need some certain current. For this one, certain amount of current. This is a certain amount of current. Suppose you say, if you control the current, this alone work, this will not work, this will not work. Suppose the higher current, this will work, this will burn off. Therefore, the best method is the series arrangement is not employed. Parallel arrangement only the employed. See, bulb with one switch here, fan with another switch here, fridge with switch. Therefore, here different amount of say current I1, I2, I3, though it is having same voltage 220 volt, but different amount of current will be flowing, and there will be an eliminator, proper eliminator will be there, so that requisite current will be sending to the different electronic appliances. Therefore, in series the current will be same, due to which it is impractical to do that. Whereas in the in series only, if you switch off, all the other component will not work. But in parallel, each component will work independently, right? Therefore, if I switch off one component, the other component will automatically work. Therefore, it has a choice. Therefore, in domestic circuits, we use always parallel arrangement. Now, how the resistance varies with the length and area of cross section. Resistance is directly proportional to length. Resistance is inversely proportional to area. Area represent pi r square. Sometimes resistance is inversely proportional to the square of the radius or square of the diameter. They may ask you all that. And rho L A, this combine these two. Rho is called specific resistance. The specific resistance or resistivity, this is called resistivity. Resistivity does not depend on length or area. Remember, very, very important. Resistance depends upon length and area, but resistivity does not depend upon length and area. See example, color, red color in this area. If I increase the area, color will not change, right? Color is a property. It is a property. Same way, color does not depend upon the area or volume. Okay. The same way, resistivity does not depend on length or area. It purely depends upon the material. Different material have different resistivity or specific resistance. You have to be very, very careful, because out of 1,000 students, only 1 or 2 students they will answer this. Specific resistance or resistivity does not depend on length and area, because it purely depends upon the material. Different material have different specific resistance, different character. Whereas resistance of that material, of any material, directly proportional to length, inversely proportional to area. It depends on the geometry. Depends upon the geometry. Now, see, copper, aluminum have very low resistance. Resistivity is very low. That means high conductivity. High conductivity. Resistivity is low. Conductivity is what? High. For copper, aluminum. Therefore, these metals are usually employed for electricity transmission. For electricity transmission or electric transmission, which are the elements usually they use? Copper and aluminum, because they have low resistivity, low opposition, and high conductivity. That is the reason. Low resistivity. And very, very important is, and see, resistivity and conductivity are inversely related. See, if this R is the resistance and K is the conductance. K is what? Conductance. This is ohm, this is mho. This is the, what is the resistance? It is a measure of opposition, it is a measure of conductance. That's all. Both are inversely related. This is resistance, this one is conductance. This is specific resistance, this is specific conductance. Resistivity, conductivity. Unit is what? Ohm meter. Here per ohm per meter. Per ohm is also called Simon. It's called Simon. Therefore, just remember, these are the general knowledge in electricity you're supposed to know. Multiple choice question, maximum they'll ask you there. Now, there are some other problems will be they ask. The simple problem they'll ask you, like suppose two resistor, each value say 10 and 10. If I connected in parallel, what is the effective resistance? Resistance in parallel, reciprocal of resistance is equal to, this is R1, this is R2. Here 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Generally, two resistance will be easy. You can remember one formula on this. Suppose two resistance are in parallel. Here what is R1, R2, take the LCM. Here R2 plus R1. Here also RP, I write it. Then reverse it. Effective resistance in parallel is equal to R1, R2 by R1 plus R2. Here, when, what is RP? RP is what? R1 is parallel to R2. Here what? This is product divided by sum. Now if you remember this, most of the competitive example, multiple choice question, they'll ask you. Say example, by looking itself you can tell. What is RP here? Product 10 into 10 divided by sum 10 plus 10. 10 into 10 divided by 20. Get cancelled. 10 by 2, 5. When two identical resistors are there, then effective resistance will be half. Same resistance, if they connected in series, what will happen? 10 and 10. RS. RS is equal to R1 plus R2. R1 plus R2. 10 plus 10. Therefore, what will get? 20 ohm. Therefore, RS is equal to 20 ohm. RP is equal to 5 ohm. Now, when two identical resistors are connected, two resistors are given, that is two identical resistors are given. Which combination give maximum current? Which combination? Here less resistance, therefore maximum current. Here more resistance, minimum current. These are the usual questions everywhere they keep asking. When two identical resistors are given, which combination gives maximum resistor? When two identical resistors are, R is parallel to R. Therefore, what is RP? Is equal, R is parallel to R is equal to product divided by sum. That means R into R divided by 2R get cancelled. R by 2. Half of the original value. Half of the. And R series with R. R plus R. 2R. Okay. Now, sometimes we use less space for calculation. That is why just I am writing like this. See, R two resistors are given. Therefore, if R parallel is what? R by 2. That means R parallel is, R is parallel to, R series is 2R, R plus R. Then R series by R parallel. If I compare, what I will get? This is R series is 2R. R parallel is R by 2. This goes up. Therefore, 4. R series by R parallel is 4, or R series by R parallel is equal to 4 is to 1. Therefore, R series is 4 times R parallel, or R parallel is 1/4 of R series. Likewise, they give a different possible question. They'll ask you multiple choice question. Therefore, multiple choice question, if you want to answer for any competitive exams on electricity, these are the usual questions. For about more than about 78 years I have been, what is that, all the question papers from the time of independent, or maybe before, what is that, the British time, they will be asking the same thing even now. Therefore, just go through all this. These laws never change in for any lifetime. Newton's law forever it will change, it will not change. Therefore, once you learn this for any type of competitive exams, you can face it. Okay. And during this time, this is most of the God has given real what is it, gift for you to stay at the home, and instead of what is it, watching the movies or sending messages, useless messages, and panic over this corona, better you go through all these things. It will definitely change your life. And only thing is, whatever you know, you start discussing with other your friends in the form of what, sending this a message or these videos, like that. Always try to help the through education. See, education only enlighten humanity. See, throughout the world, this is the only language. Science is the only language. Even if you mind, you can find a medicine for this coronavirus also. Only thing you have to think, each one of us to go through, what is it, through the YouTube, what is it, coronavirus, what is the structure of a virus, structure is made up of what are the characteristics of virus, what are the characteristics of our body cell, and you compare why, how it attacks, and what is the constituent of this, what is that, nucleus. It contains nucleus, DNA, RNA, everything you study, you do it, keep doing every day, 10 minutes you think on that, like a prayer. The entire nation, all the youth, because youth are the torch bearer of this country. If all of you plan, if you sit and 10 minutes or 20 minutes meditate on this virus. Meditating means not praying. What is the virus? Why, what it makes, what is made up of, how these things attack, and what is the protein synthesis, and how to that inhibiting that, inhibiting means what, stopping the activity of the virus. All these things you learn every day, day by day. Therefore, just and discuss with your friends. Have a nice network among your friends. Like if you go through what's it, in many countries, Japan and even in China, all the kids, they have their own network. They discuss on one particular topic, and they have a different type of groups. See, innovative thinking. See, most of the big innovations are originating from kids. What we don't think at all. Once we get a job, and we get, as long as you are a student, you can do lot of things, lot of innovations, and we learn from you only. Because mobile, if you get a new mobile, we don't know anything about it. We learn because you learn very fast, because you are more interested in that. Therefore, your learning ability is maximum, but patience, you don't have the patience. Therefore, better you, though it is boring, go through this. Think that you don't study for your sake, you study for our nation and whole world of mankind. That is the only wish we have. Thank you.